Everyone, wanted to introduce you to the next cohort that we're doing for Botcamp, educational company that teaches people algo trading, market making using the open source Hummingbot framework. So thanks everyone for joining. We're going to kind of quickly go through the mechanics of this new cohort that we're doing. It's actually going to be quite a bit different from our prior ones because we're introducing new tracks, one for technical developers, as well as one for people who are less technical but want to learn the market making and operational side of the business. So thank you everyone for joining. My name is Michael Feng, the CEO of Botcamp, as well as the co-founder of Hummingbot. We also have Fede, our CTO, who teaches the developer sessions and help people really build their custom algo trading strategies. And we also have Huang, one of the mentors for Botcamp, and what we're excited to introduce, more mentors this time around because we're going to pilot a new program to kind of help prior Botcamp graduates become mentors and help new students as well. So I didn't want to present that much today, but I do have some. I want to show you the new Botcamp website where we have laid out a new structure of the cohort, as well as we've kind of revamped how we're going to be offering courses as well. So let me share my screen. I'll kind of walk through a quick presentation and just basically show you the new website and take some questions afterwards. All right. And then as always, feel free to leave your questions in the chat. I'll try to answer them as we go. Okay, hi everyone. So this is actually cohort 10 we're doing. We've done 9 cohorts over the past, about 2 years. And it's been a really successful effort in creating a new community of people who are capable of developing custom algo trading strategies using Hummingbot. These individuals have gone out to get jobs at hedge funds. They've started market making businesses afterwards. They've also teamed up with other Botcamp graduates and are kind of running trading operations on the side with each other. So hopefully the goal of Botcamp is really to help people, learn how to become market makers and algo traders, running the same strategies that the most sophisticated hedge funds are doing, and they're using the open source Hummingbot framework that we maintain. So let me just give you a brief introduction into Hummingbot as well as the purpose of Botcamp. So currently Hummingbot has become one of the most widely used open source frameworks in crypto. The main value proposition is that we standardize integrations to many different exchanges, both spot exchanges as well as perpetual futures exchanges, as well as the kind of AMM style market maker exchanges on decentralized ones as well. So, and we also offer a strategy framework that allows people to build market making, directional, and arbitrage strategies on top of it, where they can use kind of community created and generated templates, but they can keep their configurations secret so that they can take advantage of open source code and they can run it themselves while keeping kind of everything private within their local repository. So that's why I think it's been successful in getting a lot of people to use Hummingbot across the board. We constantly see a lot of daily active instances, a lot of which, but these are only the ones that report volume. We do suspect that a lot of the larger players probably turn off the data reporting. But I think what's interesting is that despite we only have 50 connectors in the code base, we've actually seen a lot more than that in terms of connectors being used in the wild. So, so many people fork our code base, use it for their own purposes, and we're totally fine with that because as an open source project, we think the main value proposition is that it allows people to do with it what they want. So we have a very permissive license, and we hope that Hummingbot can eventually become, connect all the exchanges and allow people to run any strategy on any exchange, anywhere they want. So, so because Hummingbot has grown as an open source framework over the past few years, now you can not just run bots, you can collect data, you can kind of build more custom types of tooling with it. We started Botcamp a couple of years ago in order to kind of provide the educational components and to make sure the community, is kind of like it's capable and is taking advantage of all the new features we've been adding to Hummingbot. So what we offer in Botcamp are like on one hand courses which are pre-recorded content that shows people how to build certain types of algo trading strategies. And then we also offer basic cohort-based boot camps. And those are kind of more personalized instructions over a fairly intense 6-week period. And at the end of that period, students are expected to present a custom algo trading strategy that they've either coded or they've operated over the past, in the last, during the course of the Botcamp, and then they demo that kind of like what they built or what they ran during demo day. Demo day, that's how you earn the certification for Botcamp. So that's the brief overview of Hummingbot and Botcamp and how we fit together. It's operated by the same kind of like core team, which is me, Fede, and some of the folks that you interact with on Discord. But we found that having the educational component as well as a nonprofit component kind of allows both to become more sustainable. So as an overview of cohort 10, as I mentioned, we've done 9 cohorts already. I think we started in late 2022. So we've done kind of 7 public ones as well as 2 private ones. They've gotten, I think, better over time because we're not only teaching kind of how to run a bot, but also the theory of market making, how to kind of run market making both individually as well as a business. And then I think we also, this time around, we're going to talk about some of the new things we have planned to grow the mentor program, as well as to work with exchanges to offer more rewards for the folks who are demoing strategies at demo day. But overall, we've had about 200 people go through cohorts, and of those 200, 71 have successfully earned their certification. And the list of these certified students are posted on the Hummingbot website. So as I mentioned, we're going to offer 2 certification tracks we started in the last cohort, and we're going to continue that with this cohort. And basically, they're really aimed at people who want either to learn the more technical piece of market making, where they're capable afterwards of developing a custom algo trading strategy, using Hummingbot. A lot of these folks have basically earned bounties or gotten jobs doing this. We see a lot of people kind of like, getting hired in our Dev Wanted channel on Discord. And the other track is to, basically become a market maker. This is aimed at folks who are less technical, but want to learn how to use Hummingbot to run and configure a market making strategy, to hedge risks using different strategies, and to basically set up something where they can actually go afterwards and basically make money by market making, either by earning rewards on different exchanges doing liquidity mining, or by serving token projects and exchanges by providing liquidity to those projects. And then on that side, the main requirement is to, instead of building a custom strategy, to take Hummingbot and run the strategy, analyze it, the performance, along with kind of like the write-up of what that strategy was intended to accomplish and how it actually performed in the wild. So that's an overview. I wanted to actually kind of go through a bit more closely what the differences are between cohort 10 and some of the previous ones we've done so far. As I mentioned, not only do we have these 2 certification kind of like tracks, we've also split up the live sessions into kind of like 2 per week instead of 1 per week. One of the sessions will be kind of run by me. We'll focus more on the kind of theory of market making, understanding how to run a market making bot using Hummingbot, how to kind of like, eventually run different types of strategies, as well as configuring them and then eventually scaling them to kind of like multiple bots. But it's really focused more on the theory piece as well as the operational piece of market making. And then Fede, his live sessions will focus more on the development piece of Hummingbot, where it's going to focus a bit more on understanding the V2 framework, creating a custom controller, and then also doing backtesting and optimization using Optuna, and then finally deploying kind of multiple bots using more advanced configurations. So hopefully this kind of split between the live sessions will allow students who kind of want to focus on one area or the other to attend the live sessions and really focus on the ones they want, but students are also feel free to go to both if they want to learn both the operational piece as well as the development piece of market making. We're also going to continue to have office hours, but the office hours we're going to really focus on the week 5, because we found that the main value of office hours is really to help people, accomplish what they need to do for demo day, to build a custom strategy or to operate their custom, trading strategy, to make sure that they can, earn their certification, which we believe will be very valuable professionally down the road. So that's an overview, but I want to actually kind of cover this in just more detail, doing showing rather than telling. So we have actually revamped the Hummingbot website. So let me show you what that looks like right now, and then we can kind of walk through the agenda in a bit more detail. So as I mentioned, we basically launched. We recently launched the Botcamp website, as you see here. So previously we were using kind of like more of a stock website which we're still using for the courses, basically like an e-learning platform that hosts all the courses as well as all the recordings of the live sessions. However, we're going to start transitioning to maintaining our own dedicated Botcamp website, which is this one here. And so the cohorts experience, the cohorts information is located on this site. So overall, we do plan on adding more to this website in the future, perhaps with profiles of the students or testimonials or case studies of what they've done afterwards. And we'll be in touch with those of you who've gone through the program. But overall, we think this website does a better job of capturing what the value proposition is for Botcamp, explaining kind of like how the courses work, as well as how the cohorts work. So if you click here or on the cohorts tab, we have a bit more information on the cohorts. So this info session, we'll probably post this recording and replace this video with it. We have links to the actual cohorts themselves. This is the registration pages. But here, I think this page also has a bit of information on the schedule of the cohorts and how they work. So because we're essentially doubling the number of live sessions with cohort 10, we're offering kind of 10 live sessions over the course of the 6 weeks. Now, we do try to keep the batch sizes pretty small. On average, they've been about 20 to 30 people. And so I think this time around, we're going to try to maintain a strict 8-to-1 student-instructor ratio to make sure that each student who goes through Botcamp gets more personalized attention. As I mentioned, I think we've done actually over 300 now alumni in the network. So the main schedule, which we have here, I'll walk through a bit more detail, because I think that having the market maker track and the developer track will help people kind of maximize what they want to learn. So, and as I mentioned, you can attend either track, but basically both the market maker or the developer track. So in week one, the main goal of week one is to ensure that people understand the main logistics of Botcamp and really kind of dive in and get kind of hands-on as quickly as possible. So in the first session, I go over kind of what market making is, what the various business models are for like an individual or a firm. What are the capital requirements and the technical requirements for getting started, and kind of understanding, given the exchange landscape, how do you actually kind of make money? Because a lot of what market makers do is they're exploiting inefficiencies between different exchanges and then kind of taking advantage of some incentives that exchanges are providing or token projects are providing in order to make money, so that they're not just making money off of profit and losses alone. And then in the second session of week one, Fede will go over the Hummingbot framework. Hummingbot is an open source framework, has expanded a lot over the past years. Now we have a new version called the V2 framework, which allows you to compose more powerful strategies using components, so that instead of having to kind of code up everything yourself, like trailing stops or backtesting or kind of maintaining kind of historical data and fetching data, you can offload that work to various components and then instead operate at a higher level. So he'll go over kind of how that framework works and how you can kind of build a simple controller using the framework. And in week two, we'll kind of really get into how to actually run a market making strategy. So and how to formulate one. So in the more operational session, on my session, I'll go over running the simple kind of like the basic market making strategy, which is what we call pure market making, where you're providing liquidity to one single market, using kind of like, by using a bot that places orders on both sides of the order book. I'll try to use that, illustrate the concept of how order books work, how you should be setting spreads and order amounts for your bot. And I'll kind of visualize that, because now we have a dashboard in Hummingbot, which is not just a CLI tool, but a web application that allows you to configure a strategy and then deploy. So by at the end of the last session, you should be able to basically run a simple market making bot using Hummingbot and understand how to configure it. But I think another important piece of market making is actually conducting the research and understanding, using data to inform how you're designing and configuring your strategy. So what we found is, for those of you who are more technical, especially those who have more of a data background, this is a very natural way to approach it, is to use Jupyter notebooks in order to fetch historical data, plot price data in charts, and then to apply various data transformations in order to identify how to possible market making and other types of strategies. So today we'll go over how to do that with QuantLab, which is a new repo we now have with Hummingbot, where it's using the Hummingbot Python library to fetch historical data from exchanges. It has various other modules that help you kind of plot that data, transform it in various ways, and analyze it. So we think that in the future, QuantLab will be it will be a good starting point for people who are trying to create a strategy, because in order to create a strategy, you don't want to just pick values out of thin air. Ideally, you want to kind of start with a more theoretical foundation based on some type of analysis you're doing. So that's why I think we'll start really showing QuantLab very early on in week 2, so that you have an understanding of how to use it to actually design your strategies. In week 3, I think we'll get into more of the meat of market making, because market making is not just about running a strategy, but also ensuring that the strategy is doing what it's supposed to do. It's not taking too much risk, or if it is taking risk, it's managing that risk in certain ways. Because markets are volatile, and as a market maker, your main job is to kind of absorb that volatility and provide liquidity, in both good times and in bad times. So I think part of understanding market making is really understanding the risk part of market making and how to mitigate those risks in various ways. So on the more theoretical session, I'll go into the concept of impermanent loss, which is what people on decentralized exchanges call the risk of your inventory being exposed to prices in the market moving in one way or another. This is really the same theoretical risk as what a market maker on an order book exchange faces, and they are basically providing liquidity in an order book fashion. So I think understanding the two, how both kind of a person providing liquidity to an AMM, as well as understanding how a market maker on an order book exchange manages those risks, I think will be very illustrative, because we'll kind of look at the similarities and differences, as well as how people can hedge using both spot markets and perpetual markets. So that's and then on the dev session, Feda will go into more on the strategy part, how you can customize the strategy, how you can backtest it to understand how it would behave, in various historical times, so that you have more of a theoretical and kind of like a better understanding for how that strategy would behave before you deploy it live. So hopefully by the end of week 3, you'll not just know the basics of market making, but also how to kind of like really manage risk, how to do backtesting, and how to get into the more advanced facets of running a market making or algo trading strategy. And then finally, in week 4, the last kind of week of the live sessions, what we try to cover is, if you're really going to operate market making in production, what is it really like? What are the factors you have to deal with? So in my session, I'll go over kind of how a professional market making firm would approach it. So our parent company, Coin Alpha, one that created Hummingbot, is a market maker. So I may try to get one of the folks there to maybe give like a little AMA on how they kind of do their setup, or some of the other market making firms that are currently using Hummingbot today. But I think understanding how those firms set up their bots at scale across various exchanges, how they kind of maintain their portfolio and think about the risk on a portfolio basis, and then also how they kind of manage lots of different bots and lots of different IP addresses across different servers. I think understanding both the practical as well as the theoretical component of kind of like market making at scale, I think is an important lesson for those of you who are actually really thinking about doing market making as a business. And then finally, on the dev session, Fede will go into more advanced techniques such as hyperparameter optimization with Optuna, which is a framework that allows you to test lots of different values in your parameters and try to identify the optimal configuration for a strategy. And also how you can, instead of just doing deployment of a bot, through the regular means, you can also now use our backend API to deploy a bot directly from a notebook or from really any location you may want to kind of generate a configuration file from. So I think having the backend API makes Hummingbot a more advanced framework now, because you can deploy servers, you can manage it from different places, and then I think now it's really capable of becoming the backbone of a professional market making firm's operation. So, and of course, in the last couple of weeks, we want to make sure that students who go through Botcamp get the help they need in order to present a custom trading strategy, a demo day, and earn their certification. So that's why starting this cohort, we're really going to try to focus week 5, host office hours, both me, Huang, and possibly other mentors that will help students with questions they have about various facets of Hummingbot and helping them with their questions in building or operating their custom strategies. And then finally, in the last week, in the last session, we have a demo day where the students who built the custom strategies play their videos, and then we vote for the top strategy for the cohort. We do have some exciting plans for this demo day because we're talking to a few exchanges right now who are interested in providing some type of kind of prize for strategies that are tailored for their exchange. So nothing to announce yet, but we're talking to a few now. So I think by before demo day, definitely before week 5 of this cohort, we'll have we should have at least a couple exchanges who are offering some type of prize. So it's possible that there's a good chance that if you do take this cohort and you kind of focus on one of those exchange prizes, you might be able to win back a portion of the tuition you pay for Botcamp. In addition, I think we'll also try to get a governance proposal approved on the Hummingbot side to allocate some HBOT rewards for the top strategy, for demo day as well. So overall, we want to really try to start this cohort. We want to try to make demo day a more challenging and kind of competitive experience where people can earn. It's almost like a hackathon where you can earn different rewards, whether the HBOT rewards or the kind of separate exchange rewards for building strategies that are tailored to those exchanges. And so with that, I think that this cohort is going to be the best one yet because this time around, I think we're really trying to focus on people's needs in terms of both market making as well as development. I think with the exchange prizes, we should be able to make it encouraging more people to submit strategies for demo day and to kind of showcase what they're capable of. One final thing is, and we do want to kind of encourage both the Hummingbot community, developers, but also Botcamp alumni to kind of help us become mentors for Botcamp. And Huang's actually been our key mentors for the past few cohorts, but we want to kind of expand this program a bit this time. So I think we will be onboarding Nick, who's a longtime community member. She maintains her own Substack where she uses Hummingbot to do various experiments around algo trading. But we're excited to welcome her as a mentor this time around as well. I think for now she'll just be kind of by joining the sessions, but hopefully maybe we'll try to get her to kind of like do an office hour or something like that to showcase some of the things that she can do. Because she's actually done a lot of our triangular arbitrage. I think she's written the one that we have in the current open source repo, and she actually actively runs Hummingbot, herself. So I think she has a lot of experience in definitely in the arbitrage domain. So that's pretty much it for the information I want to present for this cohort. As I mentioned, we'll kind of like keep on improving this website. Currently, the way it's laid out is the courses are still hosted on the prior website, which is now called courses.botcamp.xyz. So we're actually in the process of updating these courses so that they're using the new V2 framework and they are kind of basically updated with all the latest improvements on Hummingbot. But we'll also be adding more courses in the next few weeks. We'll probably add a directional trading course as well as an arbitrage course here as well, because we do think the courses are an important stepping stone for those of you who are kind of like new to Hummingbot and just want to learn algo trading for the first time. Also, I should mention that these courses are provided to the people who take the cohort, these first 3 at least. And so if you buy a cohort, you actually get these free and you get access for lifetime as well. So, but we're gonna expand. I think this website here. Right now we just have the cohorts here, but we actually might add another kind of like smaller format starting next year, where we offer kind of like shorter workshops that are focused on kind of one kind of like trading strategy or one kind of more focused discipline over like a shorter period. But overall, I think with Botcamp, we'll try to make this program, this company a lot more structured next year. I think we'll offer only 4 cohorts next year, kind of 1 per quarter, and we'll try to have the schedules laid out by end of this year so that people can know what they get into. But I think what we're finding now is that they're starting to work more with like kind of hedge funds and market making firms that are interested in kind of sending their new kind of trainees over to Botcamp as a way for them to really quickly get up to speed on market making in a structured environment. So we're excited to kind of expand those partnerships as well as to working with exchanges to kind of like get the word out there, perhaps do some type of raffle for Botcamp seats or those kind of things for their staff. So overall, yeah, I wanted to kind of end the structured part of the presentation here, and then if you guys have any questions, we'll try to answer them throughout the next few minutes so you guys have a good understanding of what you're getting into. I see one question here from Michael. So Michael asks, are there assignments throughout the courses? Is there anything that is graded or reviewed before demo day? That's a great question. Yeah, so we actually we are going to have kind of like what I call them challenges throughout the course. So for example, at the end of the main goal for the week 1 on the market making side is make sure you can install Hummingbot. You can kind of like get everything set up. Week 2, the challenge is to actually run a market making strategy, and kind of report back in the next session with kind of what your results are. So we're going to have kind of like more, I'll call it like, kind of challenges for every week. So basically to ensure that students are kind of keeping up with material. And then, but the main goal, I think, with Botcamp is the cohort is to ensure that you're kind of delivering on the certification requirements, which is either on the development side to build a custom algo trading strategy, or to kind of operate a custom trading strategy as a market maker side. So the challenges are more designed to kind of like ensure that students are kind of like keeping up and they're not overwhelmed and trying to do everything in the last week. In terms of what's graded or reviews, yes, we actually do look at both the videos as well as the kind of like we have a design template that users fill out where it describes kind of like what kind of strategy they want to build or the hypothesis of the strategy that they want to run. So we do review those before demo day to ensure that kind of like there's a certain minimum bar of quality that people have to reach before kind of a demo day, which is also why this time around we ideally want people to kind of have questions to come to office hours and to kind of like try to build something that we can help them build what they want to do. But overall, I would say that the review process is more to ensure that we're certifying people who actually are doing the job, and that's why I would say only a subset of the people who go through Botcamp are actually certified.
Yeah, and just to add, it's like the idea of the office hours is that if you want to build a strategy and you have problems, we can check the strategy in the office hours, do some live coding in case that you need to do something special. And in that moment, we also try to review what each student is trying to build. So yeah, and also you have access to the recordings of previous office hours. That probably is a lot of content. I don't know, probably you're not going to see everything, but there are some very good sessions where, for example, we built live liquidations feed that receives the liquidations via WebSockets from Binance. And then you have updated that object with all the liquidations to use in a directional strategy. So, well, the thing is that if it's clear what you want to build or what data you would like to get for your strategy, we can easily build it with live coding, and you learn why you are seeing the live session, how to build your strategy.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention is that this time around, we're providing all the past recordings of all the prior Botcamp cohorts and office hours to everyone who signs up. This is more, honestly, to simplify things from our end instead of managing like separate, only providing access to separate cohorts. This time, basically, if you take Botcamp, you'll have access to all the past recordings and also all the future recordings, the future Botcamps as well, because we only have one course or everything. But the idea is, I would say, I think the main value of Botcamp, as Fanny mentioned, is I think in the office hours and the more personalized help we provide to students, especially those who want to kind of build a custom trading strategy. They may kind of like they might know the tech piece or they might know the finance piece, but they want to kind of really learn the other side of the equation. I think we can help them do that. So one question from Christoph: how long are the different sessions, and in what time and time zone? That's a great question. So what we found is that because we have students from all over the world, we have US, Europe, and Asia, we try to have them at the same time, which is about, about 3 p.m. on Tuesdays GMT time. That is about late evening, about 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong. And that's about 10 a.m. East Coast US, slash, Argentina. And then also about 8 o'clock, 11 a.m. EST US, and then 8 a.m. EST US. The reason we do that time is mainly because it's we found it's kind of the only time that is the most optimal for everyone across the world, given that we have a very global population. But we also try to ensure that every session is recorded and then posted to the Botcamp live sessions course within 24 hours after each session. So we found that we usually have about half the cohort that attend the live sessions, and the other half consume the content, in the recorded sessions afterwards. And then finally, for every cohort, most of the discussion actually happens on Discord. So after you join, we invite you to the private Botcamp channels, which includes a cohort 10 specific one. That channel is, I think, where most of the questions that people get, and we try to answer them, and then also kind of usually community forums. I think in the last cohort 9, is actually even now the cohort 9 channel, people are still kind of discussing what they built during cohort 9 and continue the discussion there. That's why we're actually going to start a new kind of like private channel called Botcamp Certified. Where kind of like folks who are certified, who have kind of like gone through Botcamp and who have kind of successfully built a strategy, can discuss something afterwards in that channel. Well, but I do think one value that I should mention more is, I think the folks who have kind of gone through Botcamp, who've joined this community afterwards, I think are deriving a lot of value from being part of this more elite subset of the Hummingbot community. JP asks, sounds like future Botcamps will be closed to the public or only open by lottery. Is that correct? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I gave that impression. No, in the future Botcamps will always be open to the public. We're going to have a more structured, kind of like more like a curriculum, where we'll have one cohort probably every quarter, and then we'll try so people can sign up, as far as 6 months or even 9 months in advance for certain cohorts. But overall, and I think we are going to be kind of offering a few seats to partners, some of our exchange partners we're talking to, who are going to be sponsoring kind of challenges. Basically we're going to be essentially working more with exchanges, so that, because I think that some of the strategies you guys will be building with Botcamp will likely benefit some exchange if you show people how they can, let's say, run funding rate arbitrage between, call it, some new exchange like Cube, for example, or Huobi or something like that. So I think overall we want to try to make sure that the value that Botcamp students create when they build strategies and demo them is reflected to exchanges, so the exchanges are supportive of this effort, and hopefully increasing the incentives that students can earn when they create and demo these strategies. But I think next year we plan on expanding Botcamp quite a lot. That's why we we just launched a new website. So we're not exactly sure what we'll do, but I do think we'll have some type of like student profiles, so that those of you who have gone through Botcamp, who've created a custom trading strategy, can have your own kind of profile page kind of thing, where you can really showcase what you've done in Botcamp, things like that. I think we also, we'll probably have more types of events, not just kind of cohorts and courses, but probably, more like 1 or 2 week kind of workshops that are kind of really showing more like a cutting edge kind of the thing we're doing. For example, some of the more like the Solana kind of DEX based LP strategies that we're experimenting with right now. So I think we'll be coming up. So to be clear, but we are, if you guys wanted to do these kind of strategies, we're happy to help you, build them and run them during the regular Botcamp cohort. So we are kind of running all kinds of strategies right now. So not just ones that are on order book exchanges, but also ones that are on kind of AMM exchanges like Meteora, Orca on Solana, as well as on kind of Uniswap, on Base, for example. And so we found that these kind of strategies, you can also automate them. with Hummingbot right now as well, which is why we're kind of building out. We have kind of a new repo called LARP that we're starting to experiment with, and we're happy to help students build those kind of strategies during Botcamp. However, I think we also, because the purpose of Botcamp is really to kind of teach people the more like the theory and the overall, the general discipline of market making. We'll likely kind of do kind of like more one-off kind of workshops next year to teach people more of these more kind of advanced strategies in a more focused environment. So Christoph has another question. He said there are 70 certified for 300 participants. Does it mean others failed or not all participate in demo day? Yeah, it's a great question. So basically, it's actually probably about 200. So I need to check the numbers. It's actually 200, I believe, folks who've kind of taken a cohort, of which 70 have gotten certified. So I would say it doesn't mean that a lot of people just take Botcamp for the content, because even now they have access to all the content. So for example, we've done a couple of like corporate cohorts where not all the employees of this large company went through demo day, but a lot of them participate in sessions. They still have access to the content if they want to go back and review it later on. And I would say that typically, I don't think the certification requirements are that difficult. It's just that a lot of people take Botcamp either because the company paid for it, for example, or because they themselves want to access the content and didn't want to kind of like put in the additional work to create a strategy and demo it during demo day, which is totally fine for us. However, what we do see as a marker for success, if the more students that do present a strategy, the better. That's why this time around we're kind of restructure the program so that basically people who want the developer track can get the developer sessions. People who want the market maker sessions can just go to the market maker sessions, and so hopefully they can really focus the sessions as well as office hours on helping people build what they want to build. Whether it's building a coding and custom trading strategy or running like a cross-exchange market making bot and really understanding how to make money doing that. Hopefully we can basically teach people what they want to learn. So that's basically the goal of Botcamp. But overall, I think we'll probably be posting more kind of testimonials from students, because overall we found that the students who have gone through it found it pretty good value for money compared to other kind of like educational programs they might experience out there. And I think we'll probably kind of be working with them to kind of like create more affiliate links and create more kind of discount codes that allow them to kind of like basically like to make money by referring people from Botcamp. So, and I do mention, if you stick around for this long, there are some discount codes we want to make available to the Botcamp community as well as to the public at large. So there's one kind of public discount code I'll type it in the chat, but we will also post this on the YouTube as well. But basically you can use 20% off with code Ricardo to the moon, and which is we actually announced this during the Avalanche Summit, but I think we've also experimented with is kind of a creation of meme coins and understanding dynamics around kind of like coin creation and how market makers can participate in kind of the newest games out there. So yeah. Anyways, there's a Ricardo meme coin out there floating around, and so we created a discount code called Ricardo to the moon. In addition, there's also a secret kind of like a larger discount available for Botcamp alumni, people who've taken a Botcamp cohort. If you're interested in doing that one, I think that one is like $1,000 or I think over 30% off the cohort price. So if you're interested in that one, please email operations@botcamp.xyz, or you can contact one of us on Discord for that kind of like if you've taken a Botcamp cohort before. I do think that this cohort, we're going to teach a lot more different things than before. Before, I think it was more focused on just like the basis of market making and how to use Hummingbot to do it. I think this time around, I think we're really going to be teaching more advanced disciplines in terms of collecting data, analyzing it, and formulating strategy and backtesting it. And also on the marketing side, I think we'll get into more in terms of all the new developments in terms of AMMs, especially on Solana, and how liquidity providers can think about, kind of like playing the game on both centralized exchanges and on decentralized exchanges. So really understanding the theory behind market making and how it's changing today in the crypto world. So hopefully this session kind of provided some information that you guys find valuable about the next cohort of Botcamp. And we will be updating kind of the website and kind of like putting all this stuff I just mentioned about next year's cohorts into the website pretty soon. So if hopefully the timing for this cohort doesn't work out for then perhaps some of the ones next year. Well, thanks everyone. I appreciate all the questions, and we'll get this posted on YouTube pretty soon. And looking forward to meeting some of you in the cohort, which starts next Tuesday. Thanks everyone. Bye.